All right, let's not. Okay. All right, let's not waste time. Who is this woman dancing with the European folk hair and another sister at the back? You think, oh, this is good. You know, they are Ghanaian. These are the ancestors. They are dancing. Hold on, hold on. So it's much giving coming to America. The ancestors, the African ancestors. Who is the sister in the middle? She is. Let's go into it now. That woman you just saw dancing, I give our mispronunciation is Diziva Gomishi is not, well, she's not Ashanti. Hold on a minute. Here we are. So she is Ghanaian, political member of the National Democratic Congress, NDC. She represents Kente South constituency in the 8th Parliament. Okay, so occupations, politician, actor, screenwriter, film producer. What have we said at the Power of Consent about politicians? She also is. So here we are. Okay, she's not Ashanti. She's Iwe descent of Alpha O of the Volta region of Ghana. Her connection to the Ashanti region is professional, cultural, as she serves as Ghana's Minister of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, because she's an actress and now she's a politician and interacts closely with traditional leaders like the Ashanti. So for those of you who follow the Power of Consent, you know that the Ashanti tribe was involved with the slave trade, holding ancestors as prisoners of war. So that's who she is. She is a politician, Minister of Tourism and Culture and Creative Arts. Makes sense. She was an actress. She's an actor. Okay, so you got the United Nations General Assembly adopted the landmark resolution March 25th, 2026, declaring the transatlantic slave trade and racialized slavery as the gravest crime against humanity. Correct. Proposed by Ghana and backed by the African Union and the Caribbean community. Really? The resolution passed with 123 votes in favor, 3 against United States, Israel, Argentina. No surprises that Israel and Argentina vote against. 52 abstentions, including the UK. Okay, so that's what you're seeing, what you're about to see is. Okay, so you're about to see some bushmeat dancing going on here. It's for that very resolution. Question, we've already broken this down. We've said this in our previous videos that Ghana wasn't called Ghana back then. The Ashanti Kingdom and other kingdoms were involved in the trading, capturing of men and women and shaking hands with the Portuguese, the Dutch, Spanish, and the British. So why is it now Ghana seem to be pushing for, and I'm reading from this passage, Minister of Tourism, Culture, Creative Arts, her name, arrives with energy at the high-level consultative conference on the next steps to the landmark United Nations resolution on trafficking enslaved Africans. This is nothing but a scam. Family, listen to me. Ghana right now, they need that money, that NGO money, right? Non-government organizational money. And they are using slavery to get funding externally from these other corporations to funnel back to Ghana, but it's not going to go to the people of Ghana. It's going to go to the elites like this woman here. It's going to go to the elites. By the way, to all of the Pan-Africans out here, shout out to you. Many of you are saying, yeah, that's the ancestors. They are wearing kente cloth, head wraps. The sisters are, the melanin is popping. All looks great. Aesthetically looks good. Listen, let me tell you something. That's a part of the deception and the fraud to make you believe, oh, these people are here to represent. No, they're not. They're there to represent themselves as the elite ruling class, which was established from slavery. So family, let's look at the references. The elite class created by the transatlantic Trade. The word trade means you're trading gunpowder, cockle shells, gold, and people. On Ghana's coast included Euro-African families. Euro-African families. Wealthy African merchant brokers. So the Euro-Africans or the Caucasians who became African. See, African doesn't mean race, it means a nationality. Families, wealthy African merchant brokers, and privileged castle connected intermediaries. 1.5 in brackets. These groups grew rich through trade, partnerships at the coastal fortresses like Emina Castle and Cape Coast Castle. Origins and the rise of the coastal elites. It goes on further. The Euro-African descendants and the wealthy brokers and merchants, local African middlemen, agents, and chiefs acted as brokers between interior kingdoms and European forts. Okay. All right. So again, you know what Amina Castle is. Yeah, Amina Castle family. And Cape Coast Castle was the other castle. Notice, and we're pointing this out in the Power of Consent, the cannons are pointing outward at sea, meaning the threat wasn't interior, it was exterior. It was at the Dutch, the Spanish, the British, those who wanted to supplant, other suppliers, slave masters who wanted to take over this. This place, Amina Castle, Cape Coast Castle, was the slave dungeons our ancestors were held in, guarded by other black people. I just showed you other black people who were complicit. All right? So when we're going back to this whole thing taking place here, these people have no right to come and make any claims for slavery. This is not an anti-African post. Shout out to all the brothers and sisters on the continent. But these people here, they are the elites. They are even separate from the people of Ghana. West Africa, Africa in general, is being dominated by an elite class that do handshake deals to keep the GDP, the gross domestic product of Africa down, thus then rendering the brothers and sisters in Africa to work for slave wages. I'm talking £2 to £3 a day, heavily relying on tourists and tourism to give tips. Tourism is the top gross income for Africa and the Caribbean. Amina Castle relies heavily on tourism. You and I expected to pay $200 US to go and visit. You will never ever catch the Power of Consent doing that, because we do not join in on the contribution towards a dungeon place that destroyed our ancestors. So this woman is a fraud. She doesn't represent the people. She represents our pockets. That's probably a Louis Vuitton bag. We're doing this to be very clear that not everybody gets reparations. We must have delineation. Shout out to the Foundation of Black Americans. Keep the foot to the neck of these people that are coming to America to try and crowbar their way into your unique claims against the United States of America. Keep that foot to the neck, man, because this is disgusting. And I'm saying for us here, the British Black Caribbean descendants, we got to wake up, because we are the only voice, the Power of Consent, saying these things and making this specific delineation here in Europe, here in Britain. Brothers and sisters of the continent, you know already, and you've told us that yes, Africa did sell its own people. I get told that all the time when I go to Africa. So we are not hating our brothers and sisters in Africa who are on the code of truth. But for those that are scamming, just saying we're all the same, just to get some reparations claim for slavery, you can't do that. That's a lie. Reparations in Africa has to be for colonization and for internal slavery, like what happened with the Arabs and those in Zanzibar, like what happened in Nigeria with the Biafra Wars, like what happened with the apartheid in South Africa. These are unique claims that we can go for, but it can't be all under one banner. We have to be specific. Again, I have to keep saying this because a lot of people are slow and think the Power of Consent are now espousing hate towards continental Africans, which is not the truth. We have to delineate and be specific with claims. It's not emotional. You are going to allow this woman here, just because she's dressed in a kente cloth and head wrap for just the day, because she ain't dressing like that in Ghana, with a Louis Vuitton bag. Yes, And a lot of those elite classes are guilty for domestic slavery today in Europe. Oh, don't let us start. Family, stop being afraid to delineate. We must delineate here in England, separate our claims. It can't be on one structure. We're not all Africans because you've got white Africans, black Africans. Africa is a nation, it's not a race. Reparations has to be lineage based, not race based, family. See, many of you are fooled by the images. Many of you are fooled by the dancing. Many of you are fooled by the drums and say, this is the ancestors. No, the ancestors were made prisoners of war at Amina Castle. So don't see, they coincided, they brought in the drummers on the United Nations, paid them peanuts probably to drum, and gave this madam here all the clothes to wear to cosplay as if, yes, we are Artisim, we are. No, 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 no. You don't care about the people of Ghana, the poor people, the children of Ghana, the sex tourism that is being put upon the children and the women of Ghana and West Africa. You don't care about them. Once we get reparations, we, those of us in the West, many of us will go to Africa and help our brothers and sisters. So delineation is not division. It's not negative. It's structure. And we need to structure ourselves away from these people here, like what you see on the screen. So this is the woman who is the Minister of Tourism, former actress, and now currently a politician. This is the scammer, and I'm calling it out. She's a scammer like our other comrades. You're all scammers. Don't be fooled by the kente cloth, the drum beating, the fact that one can speak tree, or you're a member of an African tribe and you are Ichad, you are the ancestor. No, you're not. We have ancestors all over the globe, 196,140,000 square miles of land and water of the globe. We are not just continental. We are not just people from an island. We are of the whole entire globe. This message here has been brought to you by the power of consent. Please think, please read, please ask questions. Don't be deceived, for the devil, the wolf, I should say, same thing, will come in sheep's clothes. Do not be emotional about this. Be very logical, ask questions. Don't just jump onto the bandwagon and say, we all should get reparations. Why? Because we are African. No, 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 no. No, it don't go like that. Members of a family, for example, members of a family, each member of the family, husbands, wives, children, brothers and sisters, though they're members of the one family, let's say, for example, they all have unique claims or have access to family inheritance. They all don't get the same. It doesn't work like that in the real world. So don't be fooled today as we approach August, which is a very powerful month for the ancestors who are not just from Africa. Yes, we have ancestors who were betrayed. They were betrayed. They were betrayed. The ancestors were betrayed. They were sold as prisoners of war. You cannot be a slave until you're made a prisoner. There were already civil wars taking place in the kingdoms in Africa. Africa wasn't even called Africa back then until maybe around the 17th century. It was known as Ethiopia before then by the explorers. But there were already tribal wars taking place in Africa. There was no unity in Africa. Hence why this happened, where our ancestors, some were sold, or excuse me, imprisoned. We already had ancestors on the soil of Jamaica, the Caribbean, and definitely North America and all over the Americas, as Columbus put in his diaries, as it is well documented that black people are indigenous to the earth. So just know thyself, know your history, know your unique lineage. We didn't all come from Africa. With all due respect, some of us were on the land, some of us were deported from Europe. So get to know all of your history, not just some of it. And don't be deceived. Power of consent. Love to one and all.